Stephen A. Smith had a conversation with well-known Kevin Samuels hater Eboni K. Williams. My conclusion on their discussion is that Eboni K. Williams wants to be with a black man who's intelligent, articulate, industrious, and makes a lot of money. And Stephen A. Smith's response is,
I'm your man.
And she's looking at him like, but that hairline though, nigga.
If you are interested in being the very best version of yourself, I'm a very good person to have in your life.
Yes. Because you'll push them.
I'm a push you.
You'll push them.
I'm a push you.
Right.
Everybody don't like to be pushed. And I don't think in the romantic context, I've learned in real time that it is super appreciated from your romantic partner.
But the other part to that is knowing when. Like, for
Yeah,
example,
you're right. Okay.
you got to know, because as a man, what we value is when you know us and we don't have to tell you. You've been around us long enough. You figured us out. You didn't just spend moments enjoying us. You actually studied us, got to know us, have a mastering of us to some degree where we don't have to tell you. You know, you might, you know when we want to go out. You know when we're not interested in going out. You know when we want to get down. You know when we don't want to. You have an idea of who he is without him having to tell you, because it tells him you've paid attention to what works for him, which elevates his level of faith in you that you will ultimately figure things out and y'all will flow along more smoothly than not.
Now, Stephen A. Smith was spitting right there. I know a lot of y'all probably was thinking that, okay, he gonna fold in the face of Eboni K. Williams, but no, he did a good job right there. But here comes the nonsense.
And I think that most women need to spend more time with that figuring out piece. And I would also declare, Brother Stephen A. Smith, that the chief complaint that I know I felt in my relationship, because this is the problem. I've never had a problem attracting men. I believe you believe that.
I believe that.
Okay.
I believe that.
What I find has happened historically is that men are very attracted, not just to the aesthetic, but also even to, we'll call it the resume, right? They like what it looks like, what it presents like. And then they actually get to know me. And they realize they actually are fans,
right.
If I can just be totally honest with you.
Wow. She said the men that date her view her from a perspective, or at least she thinks they view her from a perspective like she's a star and they're her fan. A lot of women operate and think like that. The old adage, if you treat her like a star, she'll treat you like a fan. Hence the reason that a lot of these male spaces say don't be treating them like a star. But then they say that we're chauvinistic and misogynist and they put all kind of labels on it. But when you listen to women talk, they will confirm a lot of the things that a lot of the men be saying on the internet.
They're fans. They respect it. They look up to it. Oftentimes it's something they find aspirational, but they don't really know how to engage in it on a daily basis.
But you know why that is, right?
Please tell me.
Because you're not a fool. Your level of intellect, your principled position.
That's it right there.
The combination of the two things. There's certain things dudes just ain't getting away with. And if you run across a woman that it is clear as day, you got no shot at getting away with the nonsense, you're like, damn. Path of easiest resistance. More men than not all men, but more men than not,
I think that's
will
right.
take a path of easiest resistance.
And I
Now, remember when I talked about it in the beginning, I said it's going to be moments where Stephen A. Smith, a lot of y'all probably assumed that he was going to fold. That was one of those folding moments, because that's not what she was talking about. That's the out that he went dumpster diving for a narrative to give her. But she explained earlier in the conversation, just 5 minutes before that part, what it actually is. This is what it actually is right here.
I really wouldn't be as attracted. There's something about the attraction. You know, if you, there's a primalness to, especially when we talk about heterosexual men and women, there's a primalness to how we are attracted to one another. And in order for me, who still very much, despite my intensity and my intellect and all this, kind of what we would consider masculine alpha, right? Excuse me, I don't know if I can cuss on here.
You can.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm still you've known me for a long time. You've known me almost 10 years, Stephen A. I am still very much very feminine, very soft in many ways, and I'm still like a Southern belle in a lot of capacities. I'm born and raised North Carolina. Let's go. So those things still, that receptacle energy is still very real for me. So now I need a masculine energy that can just almost overperform.
And you know what?
That was it right there. If you caught what was really going on there, take away all the fluff and the feathers. She was basically saying the way that she moves, being the business titan that she moves in a masculine way. The only type of man that she could feel all right with is this overperforming man in the things that she views as masculine. So, what it essentially amounts to is that she's masculine to the point to where no man is really masculine enough for her. And the truly masculine men, she's too masculine for them. That's what it really comes down to. That's what Stephen A. Smith, he just skipped a whole flight of stairs and said, oh, they just know they're not going to be able to get away with no nonsense with you. It's like, no, 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 no. She be running them away because she be thinking that she's better than them or they're not good enough for her. They don't want to deal with that. And then she spent all that time hating on Kevin Samuels' message, but she is the exact manifestation of a big part of what he was talking about.
Path of easiest resistance. Yeah. More men than not all men, but more men than not.
I think that's
will
right.
take a path of easiest resistance.
And I don't fault them. That's why what you don't hear me doing is being on these YouTube streets and Instagram streets complaining about it. I recognize that because I choose.
And that was a little cap right there. She could say that she don't be complaining about it, but she tries to intellectualize her own shortcomings. You know, people will come to their conclusions for emotional reasons, and then they will try to work backwards an intellectual reason why they should hold that position. Everybody can be guilty of that sometimes. She's guilty of it a lot. But if she intellectually words it just right, she could frame it like she's not complaining about her shortcomings when it comes to the sheer fact that that Kevin Samuels says some things that haunted her. And if you know the history with it, I'm not gonna play the whole backstory in this video, but if you know the history with it, she spent a lot of time pushing back everything that Kevin Samuels said, and then she started echoing and parroting his talking points. I'll put some links to that. And with that said, we out of here. Peace.